Whose bike's this?
Batman. It's Batman's bike. Batman!
This is the 2016 Ducati Diavel. I've been riding it for the last couple of weeks and thought I'd let you know what I thought of it. I'll get straight to the things that I didn't like about this bike. I haven't ridden the Monster 1200 and really liking it. I was expecting, given that it shares a similar engine to the Diavel, that I was going to get around 150, maybe even 200 miles from a tank, based on the fact that this is kind of like a cruiser, muscle cruiser. Unfortunately, you get nowhere near that. The tank range is about 120 miles if you're lucky. I'm not even getting 100 miles out of a tank, way less than the 1299, and you know, I'm a bit flabbergasted really. Now the bike still is being run in, but it's never getting anywhere near 150 miles. One of the things that I have noticed is whenever the fuel level gets low, so when the dash tells you you've about 30 miles left, is the fueling becomes quite unpredictable, quite rough, and the bike almost feels like it's not running as it should. And it's really bizarre, because the bike at all other times, when the tank's full or half full, the fueling's lovely, it's beautifully smooth, just what you expect from modern Ducatis, and it's quite disappointing really. It turns like it shouldn't. It's incredible. The men and women who built this thing in Bologna, they deserve a medal, because look at the size of that rear tyre, 240 section rear tyre. This bike should not go round corners like it does, and it's astounding how well and how quickly this bike will turn into a corner. It's reminiscent of the Monster 1200. In fact, I would say it turns pretty much like a Monster 1200, just rolls into the corner slower. One of the other really positive things about this bike is how good it feels in the wet. It just feels so stable. Now, with a long wheelbase and that big 240 section rear tyre, you just always feel like you've got loads of grip, and it almost feels uncrashable whenever you're riding it in the wet. The engine is lovely and smooth in traffic when you have a full tank of petrol. Beautiful for just commuting, you can just cruise along, forget about everything else. There's plenty of torque for overtaking and loads of punch. It is really nice. The torque, it's incredible. The way this thing delivers power to the ground. Such a long wheelbase on this and a low centre of gravity, coupled with that gigantic rear tyre. The bike just grips and just fires away. It just takes off, and whereas a bike like the 1299 or other sports bikes would tend to wheelie with the amount of torque that they have, I would say you would even out-drag many sports bikes from a standstill on this thing. The gearbox is a little bit clunky, probably not as smooth as the Monster 1200S. Luckily, Ducati had the foresight to put a slipper clutch in, and it only improves the bike on corner entry. It's really good, helps keep the bike stable, and you really do need it, because you do not want to lock the back wheel on this thing when you're barreling into a corner. The brakes on the Diavel are impressive. They really do a very good job of stopping this bike. Coupled with a long wheelbase and the low centre of gravity, this bike does stop very well. The one thing is, it does suffer from that byproduct of an ABS system, where on the initial pull of the lever, it feels quite spongy, but if you pull the lever, release it slightly and then pull it, it is rock solid, and there is a lot of feel. The seat on this bike is really comfy. It really doesn't matter what size your arse is. I think you'd be comfortable on this thing. Long distances, I think you'd have no problem touring, although you're going to have to fill up sort of every 110, 120 miles. The Diavel comes equipped with 3 riding modes. You've got Sport, Touring and Urban. Sport is full power, 162 horsepower, instant throttle. Touring is full power, 162 again, but with a smooth throttle response, and Urban is 100 brake horsepower with a very soft throttle response. It does have traction control. For the life of me, I cannot get it to activate, you know, not without trying, and it also has ABS. So the final thing that I liked about the Diavel is the keyless ignition system. It's the same as the Multistrada. You just have to have it within 1.5 meters of the bike. You can start the bike, you can put the steering lock on. It's really good for commuting. It means you don't have to faff about in pockets whenever it's wet, and you just know as long as you've got the key in your purse, you can start the bike and you put the steering lock on. So, you know, if the bike's here, you can just literally, if I can find the button, you can just do this and it starts up like this. It's that simple. The more and more I ride this bike, the more time I've spent with it, the more it really has grown on me. What I would say is, even if you think the Diavel isn't the kind of bike that you would like, I would still go and try it, because I think it'll blow all your preconceptions out of the water, and I think it'll actually blow you away with its performance. Thanks for watching. Even if you're not that interested, I would say someone's on it. Sounds like a Panigale.